Here we have the road and rail bridges across the Vistula River. This is just to the south of Tarnobrzeg, and the reason I'm here is to point out this spot, which was the place where on the 30th of July 1944 the Red Army crossed the Vistula River, and it did it by fording, and within one day it managed to get tanks across. Quite an achievement, really. Now, just up there to the north is Tarnobrzeg. Indeed, I believe the border of Tarnobrzeg is somewhere around here now in any case, but then it was further up there. It's not too far, about 6 kilometers or so, and the Germans actually tried counter-attacking between Tarnobrzeg and Mielec. So the Soviet Union had a corridor which was about 24 kilometers wide only, and they managed to get across the river here. Now, the 1st of August came in the first German counterattack. The 6th of August they tried again. Both counterattacks failed, and despite the fact that the Soviets were actually outnumbered on the other side of the river, they managed to make the bridgehead larger and larger until they occupied a couple of thousand square kilometers on that bank. So they advanced as far as Busko-Zdrój, and the front stayed there until January 1945, when it was one of the main points of breakout for the offensive from the Vistula to the Oder rivers. Vistula is wide, but it's not very deep, as you can tell from those islands in the middle. In fact, navigation's a bit of a problem. It needs dredging. A few years ago, I spoke to someone who wanted to have a business running tourist boats, but he said it was too difficult because of the lack of draft. Now, I tried walking on the other side of the bridge, and there were spiders' webs constantly. I felt sorry for the poor spiders, they're going to have to do all the work again. So this was not the only bridgehead the Soviets managed to capture across the Vistula. There was one at Tarnopol, there was one at Kozienice. So, in Warsaw on the 1st of August, were the rebels right in starting the Warsaw Uprising? Was it a mistake of the Home Army, or was it the right thing to do? I've dealt with this in another film, which I did a few years ago, but I still agree with what I said then. The question is, in my opinion, what did the Home Army actually expect? They knew that the Red Army was also the enemy. They knew that only a few days earlier, when Wilno had been captured, that the Red Army arrested the Home Army soldiers who had helped capture the town, and they knew that people had been arrested in other places as well. So this is part of the tragedy that of the two countries which attacked Poland in 1939, and between the two of them started the Second World War, fell out amongst themselves, so that one of those two later became the ally of the countries that had gone into the war to help Poland and defend it against the Nazis, and in the end had to agree to give it up to the communists.